to call to order a few minutes late this evening the regular monthly meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Lake Barrington. It is Tuesday, May 1st, 2018. I will ask the clerk to please call the roll.
President Richardson?
Here.
Trustee Burke?
Here.
Trustee Mitchell?
Here.
Trustee Perkins?
Here.
Trustee Rigby?
Here.
Trustee Schaller?
Here.
Trustee Thompson?
Yes.
Would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Never get tired of hearing that. Okay. Agenda item number 4 this evening is approval of the minutes from the Committee of the Whole last month and from the regular meeting of the Board last month. Would anyone like to offer any amendments or edits for the clerk or have any questions on the minutes as presented? There being none, Chair would like a motion to approve the minutes from the Special Committee of the Whole meeting on April 3, 2018, and the minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting on April 3, 2018. May I have the motion?
So moved.
By Trustee Scheller, can I please have a second?
Second.
By Trustee Rigby, thank you both. All those in favor?
Aye.
Vote. Motion carries, and Chair will ask unanimous consent that the record remain open for a period of 5 business days for any necessary technical and conforming amendments. Agenda item 5, the President's remark. We had some fabulous pizza tonight and some great salad, courtesy of our neighbors and friends at Zaza's. And Michael Wallner was here. I want to thank you all. Why don't you come up, and we're all regular customers. It wasn't the cookies.
Yeah.
I'm the one who asks about the cookies. I'm the one. So thank you. It is not uncommon that Mrs. Richardson, the woman that she is the one who drives home from Zaza's.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Hopefully she's taking some of our pizza.
I drive her to there. She drives me home from there.
Which is perfectly the right thing.
That's right. Well, I know I'm
Commissioner's chauffeur.
That's right. I know I'm joined by several others.
Yes, there may be a few others as well.
So tell us what's going on with the restaurant. Are you looking forward to the summer season? And
We are. First of all, thank you for having us and allowing us to bring in those pizzas. And it's kind of interesting, because one of the things I wanted to talk about is, does everybody know we do pizzas? Because a lot of people don't. Everybody knows us because we've been there for now, I think, 13, maybe going on 14 years this year. And which is a long time for a restaurant. It tells you something about it right there, because we've been around in the community. A lot of people know about us. They know our whitefish. I'm pretty sure if we took it off the menu, Barrington would fall apart. I'm not positive of that, but it's become kind of a fabric of the community in Lake Barrington Shores for certain, and that's one of our more famous dishes. And we did take it off the menu once, and there was a small revolt. So we won't do that again. But if you've never had that, we are known for that dish. We're known for our penne abruzzese, which is a fabulous meat sauce, which I brought it in. We put it on a pizza today and let you guys try that, and ladies, I should say. But that's one thing that we do. But a lot of people also don't know that about 4 or 5 years ago we expanded, and we have a party room now, which is really hidden. And people still come into the room, into our restaurant. There used to be a mirror behind our bar.
Right.
Well, now that mirror is gone, and we've expanded on the other side. You can see through to the other side, and it seats another 70 people. We have a private room in the back that seats about 40, and you guys can come have meetings there. Monday through Thursday. I mean, the shoresmen come in. You're coming in Thursday,
That's right.
I think, John. Yeah. With the shoresmen, and we do a nice little luncheon for them. I think once a month. But that's a great room back there. We have a TV that hooks right up to an HDMI. You can do a presentation, whatever you want. Look, it's not a free meeting room, but come in, have appetizers. It's not like we're gonna expect you to, spend $5,000 to have that meeting. Just come in, grab some appetizers, grab some drinks, have a little meeting, Monday through Thursday. That room's typically just available to you all, so I wanted to talk about that. Summer season's gonna be very busy. We opened up our patio last night. I was out there cleaning tables and chairs myself, so that, I will say, there's no more gum though, guys. Not enough of that.
I got other vices.
But, yeah, our restaurant is just really, it's a fun place to work. If you don't know the Labues and the Bascas, they're the owners of our restaurant, Paul and Daryl and Sally and Massimo. They're fabulous people. And Massimo's father and mother both work there. Filippo is kind of a stalwart at the front door. If you haven't been kissed twice by that man, you haven't been to our restaurant. And he's just a delight. And Mama Labue is up back there rolling up her famous arancinis probably 3 times a week. And she still makes them. She won't let anybody else make them. And if you've never had an arancini is a arborio rice dish that they wrap around a bolognese meat sauce. Then they bread it just slightly, just a little tiny bit of Italian breadcrumbs, and then they flash fry that in the deep fryer, and then they serve it with a marinara sauce. And they're literally the size of a baseball.
Why don't you bring some tonight?
I wanted to talk about pizza. You complaining about the pizza?
I didn't complain.
I'm taking the leftovers home with me now.
Still eating.
He's still eating. But did you guys have any questions about Zaza's, or any things that I haven't mentioned or brought up? And I know Randy, he's there at least. How many times you come in a week?
How many days are there?
Yeah, how many days are there? Right. So that's pretty much it. I mean, our Italian cuisine is more northern style. You're not going to come in there and find a Sicilian based. There are some Sicilian influences, but you're not going to find spaghetti and meatballs. We can make it, sure, absolutely, but that's not our style of cuisine.
One of the questions that I do get from people all the time is there are other restaurants who use a similar sounding name, and they wonder if you are
Affiliated.
Yeah, so please correct the record.
I will correct the record on that, because there was a Zaza's in, I want to say East Dundee or West Dundee, I don't remember.
St. Charles.
Well, no, that was still there.
It was
That was
West
still there.
Dundee.
St. Charles is still
West
there.
Dundee off Highway 31.
But that one closed. That one was not affiliated with us at all. The one in St. Charles, not affiliated with us at all. The one in Ingleside, definitely not affiliated. Sorry, is that on record? No, we are kind of our own entity. We do have 2 other restaurants, but they're not named Zaza's. We have El Contro down in the Arboretum. And we have 750 Rustica in Cary, which is our newest restaurant. It's a brand new restaurant. And
We had dinner at it a month and a half ago. It's fabulous.
it's absolutely fabulous.
Same great cooking.
Same great cooking, but it's a little more casual. Different fare, more sandwiches, things like that are very, very Italian flavored in the sense that they have an influence there, but they also have that American flair, so it's kind of an infusion of the 2. And they're just lovely. The cook down at El Contro is Massimo as well, not Massimo Labue, but Massimo Gaffo, who is relatively, I would say, if he isn't famous, he should be. He's been on the Food Network a few times. The guy is an amazing cook and a huge personality. I will never forget that one of the best things I ever ate that man made. It was a chicken drumsticks. I don't know how he did this, because it's a drumstick, right? I mean, seriously, it's a drumstick. He turned that chicken drumstick into white meat. It was like a breast. I don't know how he did it. It's like magic. The man is a miracle. And Gustavo, our chef at Zaza's, if you haven't had our lasagna, you haven't had lasagna, period. It is the best in the world. It's layered with bechamel, it's layered with bolognese. I'm sorry, now you got me going. See, Kevin? I can talk food all day, but I know you guys have bigger things to fry. We're going to go back and fry something else up at the restaurant.
Let me see if any of my colleagues have any questions or comments. I'll begin on my far left with Trustee Mitchell, please.
No, it's a pleasure to have you there, and it's one of my greatest pleasures to explain to people when they're looking for a really good restaurant that they've never tried to come out here. They're like, out there? It's like, yeah, that's it, right there.
It is.
So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Trustee Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say that I'm sorry you're so close to where I live.
You'll have to move.
Thank you very much. You're really terrific.
Thank you.
Trustee Burke.
No questions, just love having you guys as part of our business community and community overall, so thanks.
Thank you.
Trustee Shelby.
We'll see you on Thursday, obviously, with the shorts, but your minestrone soup isn't so bad either. Some of the best minestrone soup you'll find.
I will agree to that.
Yeah, really love that. And when, since our office is right next to there, people say, where's your office? We say, next to Zaza's. Oh, they know where that is. So. Pleasure having you in here.
Good to see you.
Trustee Perkins.
No questions. I'm gonna have to, after all of your sizzling of the dishes, I am gonna have to sway away from the lobster ravioli. And then I have
Lobster
every time-
ravioli is good,
It's
but
because I think it's because I drank too much red wine before. And I'm like, I don't know, just give me the lobster. Yeah. No, it's it's fantastic, so yeah.
well, I will relay that to the chef.
I'm looking forward to coming in for the patio.
It's beautiful. We had people sitting out there last night, and it was stunning. It might be a little warm today, but
Right problem. Trustee Rigby.
I remember when it was a pizza joint before.
Papa Murphy's, right?
And so I've been a loyal customer for years. I'll see you Thursday.
And if the owners want to build 3 more restaurants in Lake Barrington, we welcome them with enthusiastic open arms.
Absolutely. I'll mention that.
Thank you. And also, the killer wine list, small town suburban restaurants sometimes struggle with that issue,
Yeah.
but killer wine list. And I like when he puts the Spanish reds on there. That's a nice touch.
It is a nice touch, and you'd be surprised because it's got a little spice and they go with a lot of
Temperaturios and these Riojas are.
And we even have Camus by the glass.
Yeah.
It's a surprise to most people.
Well, I think we'll move the board meetings.
Wine tasting next month.
Yes.
And our beer list, if you've never had a Menabrea, you should try it. Menabrea is imported from the Menabrea area in Italy, and it is amazing. In the summer, out on the patio, a blonde Menabrea beer, you can't beat it.
Another reason to stop by.
Well, if we're gonna keep this meeting moving, we could still.
Go there tonight.
Get over
I
it.
know I can figure all in my car. We're very grateful. Thank you for bringing me
Thank you so much.
Continued good luck. Thank you. The agenda item 5A, we went a little bit out of order, is our annual MPDES and our MS4 report. And Caitlin Burke is here to brief us. Caitlin, you class up the joint. So thank you for being here.
So I'm here to present the annual report, which we submit to the IPA every year on June 1st. I'm going to keep it short and sweet and just talk about something we're going to do differently this year from last year. So we're still going to do outfall inspections like we normally do, dry weather outfall inspections, but we're going to cut it down to priority outfalls. And we will figure out together which ones we'll call priority outfalls, and we can choose how many we want to inspect. And then we're also going to do our water quality sampling at those outfall locations, so kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And then we will be doing the water quality inspection, or the water quality monitoring, as opposed to sending those samples to a lab. So that'll keep the costs a little bit lower, and we won't be sampling for heavy metals and things like that, but we'll do dissolved oxygen, temperature, turbidity, and then do a sort of a visual inspection, and that should be sufficient for meeting NPDES requirements. And then also throughout the year, we hope to incorporate some more training into the program, and SMC, Lake County Stormwater Management, has been really good about sending materials over to us, and we'll keep passing those on to you, and then on to Cuba Township, who does most of the best management practice type work. So that's all summarized in this report, all the best management practices we've done throughout the year. So I'll open up if anybody has questions.
Happy to yield to any of my colleagues for questions.
I would just like to say that it was a very well-done report. I read through the entire thing.
Thank you.
And it takes me a while to remember, National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System.
Yes,
Wow.
got it.
Good. Good. Thank you for the hard work on this. It's important. We take the environmental stuff seriously.
Appreciate it.
I know how proud your dad is sitting up here, seeing you be so effective. So.
Saving us money, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. If there's no further questions, then we appreciate the initiative. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. The official paper copy. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Your dad said, just put it on his tab, it's us.
Agenda item 6 is the first time in the agenda, provides an opportunity for the public to address the board on non-agenda items. Anybody seek recognition for that purpose? If not, we will move to agenda item 7, which is the consent agenda. This is to move a number of provisions by omnibus vote so listed on the consent agenda. 7B is the Doring landscape proposal for mowing in Village Hall. And all of these were discussed in the committee of the whole meeting prior to this meeting. C, engineering inspection for iron removal filter tanks. D, Old Barrington Road design engineering services. And E, mosquito management for the upcoming summer from Clark Mosquito. Having discussed these previously, is there anybody seeking on the board for any further questions at this time? If not, Chair is prepared to call the question. All right, the Chair would like a motion to approve by omnibus vote the agenda items, or the items listed on the consent agenda. 7B, Doring landscape proposal for mowing at Village Hall. C, engineering inspection for iron removal filter tanks. D, Old Barrington Road design engineering services. And E, mosquito management, Clark Mosquito. May I have that motion, please?
So moved.
By Trustee Mitchell, thank you. May I please have a second? Second. By Trustee Rigby, thank you, gentlemen. I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Mitchell,
Yes.
Trustee Rigby,
Aye.
Trustee Burke,
Yes.
Trustee Perkins,
Yes.
Trustee Scheller,
Yes.
Trustee Thompson,
Yes.
President Richardson.
Yes, thank you. Agenda item 8 is public hearing regarding our annual appropriation ordinance. Before I start, who sets this up, Mr. Bateman or Ms. Dalton?
I think Mr. Bateman should set up the appropriation ordinance.
Yes, the appropriation ordinance reflects not the working budget of the village, but the legal maximum intended expenditure in any particular category. And so it is a limitation on your expenditures in any particular category unless you go back and amend it sometime during the fiscal year. And it's not to be confused with the management budget, which is a much more fine-tuned document, which you work very hard on as well. But this is a our passage of this is a prerequisite to passing the tax levy ordinance later in the year. And we also do file a certified copy of this along with a certified estimate of revenues. We have to file that by July 1st, before July 1st.
As to the description by council, are there questions?
I'm sorry, by the end of July.
Any questions for council before we proceed? All right, the chair would like a motion, I believe, to open a public hearing regarding the appropriation ordinance for fiscal year ending April 30th, 2019. May I have that motion?
So moved.
By Trustee Shaw, may I please have a second? By Trustee Thompson. Excuse me. Thank you both, gentlemen. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Scheller,
Yes.
Trustee Thompson,
Yes.
Trustee Burke,
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell,
Yes.
Trustee Perkins,
Yes.
Trustee Rigby, President Richardson.
Yes, thank you. Are there any witnesses seeking to be sworn in for purposes of public comment on the proposed ordinance? Okay, the only thing I'll mention here is that this will be the fifth budget, the fourth year, the fifth budget that has a 0% increase in the residential property tax. correct? At the same time, we are the only village who still pays on behalf of its residents trash and recycling collection, correct?
Yeah, we're aware of it.
So, yeah, I know of none in the northwest suburbs, certainly, and none in the northern part of the state that do so. I make mention of those two facts because it's a tribute to the hardworking village accountant, our treasurer, the distinguished chairman of our Finance, HR, and Administration Committee. This doesn't happen by accident. And you have our undying gratitude because this is the result of discipline. And the toughest part of the job is when I try to spend more than you let me, and I go over my allowance. And I've learned to deal with it at home. So I want to thank you for that. It's very important. No increase, fifth time in the residential property taxes. At the same time, we're the only ones paying what are several $100,000 worth of cost for trash and recycling services when none of the other communities around us do so. So this is a very good bang for the buck kind of community, a great place to live for yet another reason. Would any member of the board seek recognition for purposes of public comment at this time? Does the treasurer have any comments at this time?
I can offer a few, just very briefly. The ordinance, the way they are appropriate, for a quick review, it is in your budget book. I'm not sure what handouts you have. We basically just take the budget at 20% to most line items. It's just sort of a quick and dirty way to do it. A few categories we do more than 20%. In some cases, legal fees, because those are a little bit harder to manage within 20% of a budget number. And operation expense for the open space fund as well. And that's really no other comments.
Thank you very, very much. And again, thank you, Debbie Grove, for her hard work. Before I call the question to close the public hearing, I just want to see if the chair of the Finance, HR, and Administration Committee has any comments for the board.
Other than what you've already said, Mr. President, when you pat me on the back, you've got the right string but the wrong yo-yo. All the credit is due to I had to do that because he got me last time. All the credit goes to our new administrator, Karen, and to Peggy and to Debbie, who do great work for us.
For the benefit of the public, the document that was prepared, and this is a public document, was really exceptionally well done. It does a great job of documenting the dollars and the cents, where they come from, where they go, why they're being spent. These are public documents, certainly to be inspected, and I think this will be on
It'll be on the website.
as well, so thank you. Okay, there being no further desire for public comment, Chair would like a motion to close the public hearing regarding the appropriation ordinance for fiscal year ending April 30, 2019. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
By Trustee Scheller, may I please have a second?
Second.
By Trustee Mitchell. Thank you both, gentlemen. Clerk will please call the roll.
Trustee Scheller?
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell?
Yes.
Trustee Berg?
Yes.
Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Rigby?
Aye.
Trustee Thompson?
Yes.
President Richardson?
Yes, thank you. Chair would now like a motion to accept fiscal year 2019 financial plan, certified statement of revenues, and fiscal policy. May I have, Mr. Bateman, do I do these in block?
You can.
As well as, the Chair would like a motion to consider in block. Let me rephrase. A motion to consider in block fiscal year 2019 financial plan, certified statement of revenues, and fiscal policy, and ordinance number 2018-0-09. Thank you, Lisa. An appropriation ordinance for fiscal year ending April 30, 2019. May I have a motion to approve in block?
So moved.
By Trustee Rigby, seconded by Trustee, was it Thompson? Thank you both. Gentlemen, the clerk will please call the roll.
Trustee Rigby?
Aye.
Trustee Thompson?
Yes.
Trustee Berg?
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell?
Yes.
Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Scheller?
Yes.
President Richardson?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Chair would like to recognize the treasurer under agenda item 9 for the treasurer report, please. Thank you.
Thank you. So before us, we have the financial statements that for the 11 months ended March 31st, 2018. We are 92% through our fiscal year. We're almost there, one more month. Looking at the flash report on page 2, so we have assets of $2,267,000, liabilities $854,000, equity at $1,414,000 for total liabilities and equity equal to our assets at $2,267,000. look at our fiscal year-to-date revenues. Total revenues are $2,317,000. Total expenses are $2,152,000 for a net income of $165,000. And as we've done each month, we look at our income from regular operations, which pulls out any kind of road work, any extraordinary expenditures. And that number, the road work to date for the fiscal year 2018 is $18,838, which gives us a regular net income from operations of $184,000, compared to this point last year at $29,000. Okay, we'll flip forward to page 11 and 12, 10 and 11. That's our budget to actual report, or actual to budget report, I should say. So you have total revenues at 91% budget to actual to budget, excuse me. And expenses on page 11, 86% actual to budget. Income tax and sales tax are still what I would call our biggest underperformers. You'll see that income tax, we're 80% actual to budget, and sales tax 80% actual to budget. Sales tax is picking up, and we're looking forward to summer months for our fiscal year 2019 and see what that number ends up. But that actually is starting to improve. So on the expense side, our road maintenance and our salt usage is half of what we budgeted last year. That's pretty much keeping our actual to budget percentage down. We have a few numbers once again over budget, but overall we're pretty much trending, 86% actual to budget. So we're looking to come in ahead of projections for this year. I will make one note that we've been picking up some sales tax revenue from Speedway. We have not yet done the rebate entry, and that would be, if you look at total expenditures, towards the bottom, about 5 up, you'll see sales tax rebate. So half of what we collect from Speedway will be, returned back to Speedway and go in there as an expense, and we'll book that at the end of this year. Okay, any questions on that general fund? Okay, page 12, motor fuel tax fund. We have cash available of $294,000. And that fund is typically growing about $11,000 each month, 10 to 11. This past month, we brought in $10,000 revenue.
And remind me, we'll use these funds for the Savannah work.
Correct.
Thank you.
And that, I think that was budgeted to be around $240,000, so there's plenty of cash in that account to cover that. Page 16 is the water sewer fund. We have net current assets of $1,433,000. That's our current liabilities, our current assets, less our current liabilities. There's plenty in reserve there for planned expenditures and for any unplanned things that might come our way. And then page 20 is the open space fund. $146,000 in there for ongoing capital expenditures. All maintenance now does come out of the general fund. $104,000.
That's an important point. Would you reiterate that again? Because some people who watch this subsequently from home, where we're moving something, it doesn't affect the net, but it does. We're moving some of those monies from one fund to another. I can't remember the details.
Well, we've done a really good accounting of how money that the rental income was spent to be sure that was only the amount we spent on maintenance type expenditures. When the bonds were issued, it was for capital purposes only. So to maintain our tax exempt status, only for capital expenditures. So now maintenance, since we have no ongoing revenue in the open space fund, maintenance will come out of the general fund, which is budgeted currently in the general fund. Under general fund, operational expense, I believe is the account line.
Thank you. I had forgotten the detail, and I appreciate you reminding me.
Absolutely.
And figures about what? What is the maintenance?
I have to look at the budget, what we've got going for this year. It's mowing, it's the porta potties, it's a relatively minimal amount. I think we're budgeting about $20,000 in capital expenditures at the farm this year. There's security lighting for the alarm system going in.
Lighting and security cameras.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll raise that.
Yeah.
Those everything. So,
Thank you.
yep. So the only activity in the account this month that we did, is we cut $5,000 because the earnest money for the gift sale, and there's been some legal fees. That's really what's all that's gone through that fund in March. Okay, and that's all I have on the funds. I have reviewed the accounts payable. I guess we'll do that in a second. Any questions on the funds? Okay, so I've reviewed both warrants A and B, and they're here for your approval. There's a few what I would call out of the ordinary expenditures. You'll see some ones to Trillium. There was a controlled burn, and there was repairs to the Friar Farm Boardwalk. It was back in March of 2016. There was a fire out there. We did receive insurance money from IMLRMA for the repair, and the insurance money was actually more than the repair. So we received $1977, and I believe the amount of the repair was less than that. That's in your warrant, so.
I thought it was pretty close.
It's very close, yeah. There's a request for Omega for $24,958, and that was for the March 22nd demolition of the farmhouse, which we all can see the work was performed. And that was approved at the April 2nd, 2018 board meeting. There's Bay Cut quarterly dues in here, so you'll see those once a quarter of $6,745. And then we have a couple of donations that are finishing out the year with, and that's Bacoa and CFC. And that is the end of my report.
Are there questions for the treasurer? Marvelous. There being none, Chair would like a motion to approve in block agenda items 9A through C. A, approve the financial statements as of March 31, 2018. B, pay bills in the amount of $216,708.98 as listed on the accounts payable warrant A dated May 1, 2018. C, pay bills in the amount of $9,197.59. Thank you, Lisa. As listed on the accounts payable warrant B dated May 1, 2018. May I have a motion to approve the block?
So moved.
By Trustee Schaller, thank you. May I please have a second?
Second.
By Trustee Rigby, thank you both gentlemen. Clerk, will please call the roll.
Trustee Schaller?
Yes.
Trustee Rigby? Trustee Burke?
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell?
Yes.
Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Thompson?
Yes.
President Richardson?
Yes, thank you. Agenda item 10 is the administrator's report. Ms. Dalton-Line.
Sure. April was a busy month. I attended the Lake County Transportation Committee meeting, and they are looking at how they allocate funds for road projects, and that's coming down from the Federal Highway Administration. And so when different, this money comes down in block to these area groups, this is the Lake County area. You know, like for example, Barrington's in the Northwest Municipal Council, we're in this Lake County Municipal Council. And so the federal government has said, okay, you've got to look at it different ways. You've got to look at project readiness, different ways of pavement management systems, disadvantaged communities, and other considerations. So what they're working on now with the help of CMAP is how this is going to be accomplished. And all the different quasi-governmental agencies are looking at this right now. So the new system is still under development, so it's not a concern right this minute, but it will affect projects in the future, probably going forward from 2020 and beyond. And many of these projects are already in the queue for 2020 and beyond because like when we got money for our Woodland Bridge, you know, that takes time. So the Flint Creek Salt Creek Watershed Partnership, speaking of NPDES, MS4, they're going to be installing a stream gauge in Lake Barrington at Woodland Drive near the bridge along the north branch of Flint Creek, where right before it goes into the Flint Lake there. And this will be their 5th stream gauge, and this will, they'll also be doing water quality monitoring. And this is part of the requirements that we can tag onto with our NPDS permit. So one of the things that was reported tonight is that they're reducing their inspections. Well, part of that can be because the Flint Creek, Salt Creek Watershed Partnership that we're a member of is doing some of the same work, and they're doing it at the exact same locations every year, so that there'll be more year-to-year and day-to-day information that gets generated from this. It'll be automatic. The other information is, right now I'm working with the Barrington Area Conservation Trust and the Eagle Scout. The project would be for a monarch way station out at Friar Farm. Trustee Mitchell's aware of this. The Eagle Scout has to do the planning and fundraising and talking to people about this, so it's not going to happen right this minute. If we're lucky, it'll happen by fall. But I met with the Eagle Scout and VACT last week out at the Friar Farm, and they're looking at about 100 square foot area in front of the gardening fence. And the raised area would be of similar block material that we have out there right now for the fire pit in the gazebo area. So being right next to the community garden, that will help with our vegetables. So see how that, and that came as a direct result of our going out asking the not-for-profits for donation requests, and this was the project that they submitted. So I attended this WACO meeting in April, where the good news is we have in Lake Barrington 27% more tonnage of recycling in 2017 over 2016. But the bad news is we have 64% more trash than we had being disposed in the year before. So people are throwing away a lot more garbage, even though they're recycling a little bit more. So I don't know if that's because it's, well, sometimes over time people like stop recycling certain things, you know, or you know, more people that maybe new households are not recycling or old households aren't recycling. I don't know, but there's it's kind of the trend right now in Lake County. However, when I compare the numbers to the overall, so overall in Lake County recycling is up 66%, not 27%. But the trash is also up 65%. So the trash rising, I guess we're being more consumable and stuff, is up all over. The recycling is up higher in other areas than Lake Barrington. I just thought that was an interesting statistic from the takeaway from, you know, all the measurements. So keep on recycling, everybody.
And I think I also mentioned, I'm sorry,
Yes.
I was looking at options for food waste recycling.
Yes.
That would take some of the weight
Mm-hmm.
out of that as well. It's good. I think also the trash tonnage is up, and I can get my base.
That is absolutely true.
Do you think this is a reflection, though, of changing consumer habits when it comes to online shopping? I mean, I think of our own situation, packaging is just out of control.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now, rather than go to the grocery and buy a bag of dog food, you get it on Amazon and it comes in a giant box, and you have to do something with that box. Now, that would suggest the box should be recycled, but
Absolutely.
that doesn't mean the box is getting recycled, right? So some people can just be throwing that in the trash, but
Right.
we get something, 2 things a day on our doorstep, and that wasn't happening 3 years ago.
Right. And one of the things that SWAPO is going to be taking a look at is revamping the messaging to residents in Lake County, because it is quite confusing out there about what can and can't be recycled. So for example, someone might throw out from the inside of their house a bag that they put all recyclable materials in, and they put it in a, I'll just say hefty bag or whatever, and throw it in the recycling bin. They throw that in the garbage because the machinery that goes to recycling, that bag tears up that machinery. They can't cut through that. So they're going to be getting out the word more, because I think some people might be thinking they're recycling and they're really not. So more to come on that.
Well, when does the new agreement with Waste Management start relative to the green stickers for yard waste?
Well, we have those green stickers right now.
Right.
And so our new agreement with Waste Management starts October 1st, I believe.
So I can use the ones I bought last year.
And we're gonna have the same ones next year.
Okay,
Same price.
We're gonna have the same ones at the same price, yes.
good.
And then in the month of November, you will not need recycling stickers. So, I have a save the date for everybody for the Tom and Connie Schofield Memorial at Friar Farm. That's coming up Sunday, June 3rd at 4:30 p.m. So save the date, the community's welcome, and more information may follow. And I got word that all of Lake Barrington is invited to the grand opening of Lake Barrington Motorsports this Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. RSVPs are appreciated but not required, so you can call Lake Barrington Motorsports if you are desirous to attend. At the request of the LBS management, a meeting has been scheduled to discuss the potential of the Lake County Sheriff's Department enforcement of speed limits with an LBS. Trustee Schaller will be in attendance at that meeting on May 15th. And the big news is I've been invited to Cleveland, Ohio for Special Friends Day at my 4th grade niece's request. And my 5th grade niece requested that I participate in Green Gator City to experience the sustainable community her and her fellow 5th graders have designed. So I will be out of the office next week, Wednesday through Friday, attending those wonderful events with my great nieces. Any questions?
What a great use of the time.
Can you take some mugs? Do we still have some mugs? Those mugs.
I'm going to carry on.
And the event for Tom and Connie is at 4 o'clock.
4:30, Sunday, June 3rd.
And I want to thank Trustee Thompson on that. He took the lead in getting the plaque, he did the research. It was not as simple as it sounds, because we had to look at all weather conditions and how it was going to be displayed so that the weather did the least amount of wear and tear on it, so that we can thank you momentous. Thank you for that. He got the job because there were 10 of us in a row and 9 of us took one step back.
That's familiar, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's how Curly got volunteered in the Army. I saw it on TV. Further questions for the administrator? There being none, agenda item 11 is the clerk's report.
It's done this month.
All right. Agenda item 12, reports of standing committees. Branding and Communications and External Relations, A&D are mine. I will be attending the annual summer meeting of the U.S. Conference of Mayors in June. I have been particularly active on 3 committees. One is the Water Council, and the second one is this new one in the last couple of years on the opioid crisis. And the third one is on immigration reform, and I will continue to do so. Actually, my work was done for me this past week and a half when Trustee Rigby went to Springfield with Baycock. So I'd like to yield the Trustee Rigby for any quick report on that he may wish to offer.
Okay, thank you very much. I got a call from Janet Agnoletti and asked me if I had the time to attend down there, and I'm glad I did. I learned every time you go to Springfield, you learn something you really didn't know. The first morning we went to the Illinois Municipal League briefing for legislative briefing, and they had all the senior leaders from the legislature come in and spend a few minutes talking about some of the issues that they were working on. In the afternoon, we were primarily interested in a Bay Cup. It's one of our issues as well, and it has to do with water. And we met with Lauren Mulbeek, Director of Office of Water Resource ID&R, and his assistant, Wes Cantor. Senator McConchy, David McConchy, was there with us. Pam Althoff from over in McHenry County was there, and Senator Rooney from down south in the Rolling Meadows area came in and out. The Senate was in session, and they were constantly coming in and out to do a vote. But the issue had to do with the U.S. Geological Survey has sunk a number of wells throughout this entire Baycog area, and it monitors both water level and water quality for residents in this 40,000 population catchment area. Some years ago, they quit paying to service those wells, and so Baycog took that over because that's vital to us. But Baycog provides the data that's gleaned from that to the USGS and to ID&R. And so the issue there was, when are you guys going to start paying for this again? And although they would not make a commitment, I think it was a successful meeting because, first of all, we put a stake on the hilltop that we're here with this request, and by all means, it's your wells, and it's the U.S. government's well, it's not ours that we're paying for. I mean, you get the data. So they said, once we get a budget, we'll know a lot more, but I think our way is clear to help make help here. The second day, we spent some time one-on-one with some legislators, and we saw Senator Dave Syverson out of Rockford, spent some great quality time with him. He really gave us a good lay down on the world from his perspective. And I specifically talked about two things with him. The first is protect our local revenues. And, we had a tax increase, but we haven't seen a penny of it. Everybody else got it, but the people that are paying for it. The other thing was maintaining local control and the issue having to do with home rule. And he was very, very receptive to that. A little later that day, we talked to Representative Jim Durkin and also Senator Bill Brady, and I talked about the same topics. And I pay my own expenses whenever I do work for Lake Barrington. That's the main part of my report. The other thing I'd like to say is there is a documentary that came out late last year. It's called All the Queen's Horses, and it's about the embezzlement over in the city of Dixon that occurred in the last 5 years. The documentary's already won a number of awards. It's not on Comcast yet, but it is on, you can get it through Amazon Prime for $4.99 if you want to watch the thing. It's well worth watching. It's very well done. And I sent Karen a link it's a link of a film of the guy that did the forensic accounting of that incident. Karen's got it if you want to. It's 40 minutes long, but it's worth it because he goes through step by step how this individual was able to embezzle $53 million from a community that's just barely twice as big as Lake Barrington.
I will send out that link to everybody.
Yeah.
The 40 minutes when Trustee Rigby first sent that to me, I was like, oh gosh, 40 minutes to watch it. And it flew by. It was better than anything that was on TV that night.
A lot of lessons learned there from trustees.
Yeah, I will send that out to everybody.
That completes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, and thanks for covering that for me. I worry about a lot of things relative to the public's business, but thankfully, none of us have had to ever losing moments of rest over that. The chance that I would get away with a paperclip walking out of this building with Peggy Hirsch sitting over there is exactly zero. So she counts the pens when I leave the office. But that's the way it ought to be because it's not our property, it's the people's. 12B, Community Relations, Special Events, and Veterans Affairs. Trustee Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. President. You may everyone visiting this beautiful building will notice the Rogues Gallery up on the wall. Thank you very much, Lisa and Karen, for all your work. And we're in the process now. I've met several times with some students at Barrington High School. They're going to do a wall mural of the logo, and probably will start near the end of May. And they're really looking forward to it. They seem very excited about doing it for us.
Where's that going to go?
It's going to go just to the left of the Rogues Gallery. And I did tell them that we would do some publicity around what they were doing, so they were really neat about that. Let's see, the farmer's market is plodding along. Angel Softwater didn't really realize that they had to go earlier to get as many of their vendors as they could. I think they have 6 now, if I'm not mistaken. But they're continuing to do that. You might see the sign up on their digital sign about it, and they're in the process of getting their sign approval for Northwest Highway. And I'm wondering if it's appropriate for Max Strategies to do some publicity.
Completely.
Thank you. So I'll work with Ryan on that.
Wonderful.
And Angel Softwater.
Kathleen may have some skill to offer to Andy that she may have some ideas for messaging.
Let's see, we're in the process of planning the village resident focus group.
Yeah.
interviews. We have some data, thank you Karen, our village administrator Karen Dahl-Lang, about data from Tallgrass. And we'll be talking about that. And let's see. You've already mentioned June 3, the Schofield dedication. About the Veterans of Lake Barrington Shores, everyone in the village is invited to their annual Memorial Day event at Lake Barrington Shores. There's a complimentary hot dog lunch from noon to 12:45. And at 1 o'clock, the ceremony will take place. Mr. David Lambertson, a 32-year foreign service veteran, will be the keynote speaker. And everyone is invited to attend. And it's going to be another fun day. And also, if you happen to want to drive, we suggest you park your car at the North Barrington School. We will shuttle you over to the event. Let's see. And then August 11th, this is a save the date. August 11th, veterans of LBS are going to have Bravehearts at Friar Farm. Bravehearts is a wonderful organization based in Harvard, Illinois. They use horses to do PTSD work, therapy work with veterans. It's just a marvelous organization, and I'm speaking in a couple of like a Rotary and Barrington Chamber events about that to make sure that we get a really good turnout, because it's just it's very difficult to explain how good this is, but it is just wonderful.
What time of the day is that?
It's going to be at 1 o'clock. And working with Village Administrator Karen Dahl-Lang, considering offering some food for purchase at the event. We'll see what we can do about that. Don't know about the liquor. We have a good liquor commissioner, but we'll see. Yeah.
That's right. That way it's a Lyft or an Uber home.
Okay, that's it, Mr. President.
Thank you. Are there questions for Trustee Thompson? Okay, 12C, Economic Development, Trustee Burke.
Thank you, Mr. President. April was a very busy month in economic development. As you know, we approved the contract for Scott Partners, and not more than a few hours after that was done, Kathleen, Scott, I sat down with Karen, we kicked off kind of our plan, coordinating activities, etc. Came up with a bit of an outline of how we're going to work, what our priorities are going to be. From that discussion, there was a follow-up meeting between Ms. Scott, Lisa, Karen, about internal processes and improving. Do you want to just talk a minute about that, Karen?
Sure. We started off focusing on the business license renewals and the liquor license and restaurant license renewals. That's a process that Lisa went through the entire thing from start to finish this year. And in my first time going through it as well, and I kept asking, why? And so that's good, because you have fresh eyes on something and you look at, okay, how can we make this better for our customers, for our business owners in town? And so between Lisa and Kathleen and myself, we had a lot of good ideas. We have an outline of how we're going to approach this project and do that. Next step, in a couple months, we're going to start looking at permit reviews and how we take in permits and process those as well.
So the whole idea there for all of these is to take something that's extremely labor intensive and very paperwork centric and streamline it and put it all online. And therefore say, today, every renewal of every business license every year is a disparate, discrete, start from scratch process. We collect the same information through paperwork, and then all that information has to be entered into the system, if I understand correctly, right? So the idea is, if we get this right, do all this online. So you actually have the business owners come in, put the information, apply online, get all their data, email addresses, all the things, and lo and behold, from that also build our direct business directory. So then the onus becomes the business owner, on the business owner to keep their information current. And through that, we can improve our outreach and our connectivity to, and save staff a lot of times. So it's a real win-win.
And I'd like to add, Attorney
Yes.
Bateman had some good suggestions too about ways we might be able to move up the process as far as start earlier with our inspections, with the fire department staff and health department staff. And then also perhaps have a requirement so that all the paperwork has to be handed in 30 days before the license renewal. Right now, it's the same day, which is insane for all the people who come in at the last minute. So those were wonderful suggestions. We'll be looking at all of that, in totality together.
So thrilled that that's kicked off already. We've made that a priority. We made that a priority for Ms. Scott and said, let's get busy on that and let's make sure by the next cycle we have a process in place. Because it achieves several things. It makes us more efficient here and also really makes us easier to work with here ultimately. And improves our outreach to our businesses. So there's legitimate reasons for doing that. Ms. Scott and I have met on a number of occasions. We're working on the outline of what I'm calling our economic development plan, which is drawing down in more detail from the comp plan and how we intend. And we talked at quite a bit of length today about what some of the opportunities and challenges are, so I won't repeat that. And we've kind of put on ourselves a bit of a deadline by July. We want to have the outline of that plan to share with all of you. And as we promised, Ms. Scott will be here every quarter to give her own update to the board so that you can ask questions and challenge. And by then, we want to have a good definition of all this stuff and meaty things to talk about when she's here next time. So, Lake Barrington Motorsports has their grand opening, as you know. They are not quite ready to sell cars, but they're getting close. I think they are making some changes to some personnel over there as they're up and starting, or adding some personnel, but they still don't feel like they have all the right people on board to get the thing up and running. So, but they're very close, and hopefully within the next 60 days, 30 to 60 days, they're operational on their site. So, and as we also talked, and we'll reiterate, we had some press that I thought was favorable on our commitment to economic development. That was really precipitated by the contract that we signed with Scott Partners, and a couple of news outlets chose to pick that up, and I think that's in our best interest and tells a good, fair story. As Karen and I like to say, they got at least half of it right, so that was better than none of it, right? But it was mostly came out favorable the way we want it. We want people to understand that we're serious about it, we're investing in it, and but in a very responsible way. So I think that's positive. So 30 days in, I'm very excited about the progress that we've made so far. But it's
The
not
article was in the Daily Herald this morning, and you get 2 more bangs on that because Business Ledger, which is a publication from the Daily Herald, also was running it. They do a daily email that highlights their stories. That was one of them that they highlighted, and that'll be included on their next publication, which comes up this week.
Yeah, and I thought that article in most measures represented what we wanted it to represent. Our sincere interest in the fact that they're referencing Speedway is a positive thing, and that we're building on that momentum. And I think other people see, now that's positive publicity for Speedway. It says, hey, it's doing well, it's generating the revenue we expected it to generate, and other people to take notice of that. And success breeds success, so that's what we hope comes out of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for Trustee Burke? Thanks for the hard work. It's really exciting to see it coming together. Let's see. Trustee, do we have anything further to add to your prior report on finance, HR, and admin?
Nothing further.
Thank you. 12F, open spaces and village facilities, Trustee Mitchell.
Thank you. Just very briefly, I want to thank our village administrator for doing a fabulous job getting the farmhouse taken care of, if you've seen that, and then with Trillium.
Not seen it.
You have not seen it exactly. And then the control burns with Trillium, and you'll see that the whole place looks better. And it was amazing. So I'm out there doing it, and you come back, and it's now greened up again. And they got rid of the teasel and a lot of problematic weeds. It's a fabulous thing. sort of a pivotal point that we can move forward with what needs to be done in our facilities. So, that's it. Thank you.
Terrific. Questions for Trustee Mitchell? There being none, 12G, Public Safety and Gated Communities, Trustee Schaller.
Well, as you probably have already heard, on April 11th, the largest fire in Lake Barrington Shores took place. Wakanda Fire District was called to that structure fire, pretty much eliminated half of the duplex. But more interesting than not, there was one victim who was inside the unit, and a trio of individuals who were installing windows for renewals by Anderson happened to be in the area, saw the fire, saw the man was in distress, put up a ladder to the second floor and pulled Mr. Wagner out of the unit. Had that not taken place, he probably would have not survived. So they were honored, Administrator Dalton Lang and John Hathaway from OBS, up at the Wakanda Fire Department. They have their monthly meeting, their district meetings on the third Thursday of the month. And they honored those three with a commendation. Actually had a nice ceremony in the fire station itself. And and then the interesting part is those three went back to where they were installing the window and put the window in so that people didn't have any smoke inside their unit. But it was the biggest fire in the 28 years I've been in LBS. And fortunately, no lives were lost. But again, mutual aid, it's an interesting concept among fire departments. But Lake Syrup, Countryside, Long Grove, Barrington, Nunda, Palatine, Fox River Grove, and Cary fire departments were all on the scene for that house fire, and it's amazing. Well, they all responded. The one chief up in Wakanda mentioned, while we were away from our station, part of mutual aid is another department will come and man our station. So it's an amazing operation that they have. So we're fortunate again, the Wakanda Fire Department and the Barrington Countryside Fire Protection District that were basically serves Lake Barrington, but we have all the work of the cooperating departments. And so the Barrington Countryside Fire Protection District has their annual report, if anyone would like to see that. One of their trustees who's been on their board for many, many years, Paul Heinz, officially retired, so they had kind of a farewell ceremony for him. Their meeting is on the third Monday of the night, so I usually go to both the Wakanda and the Barrington Countryside meetings. Interestingly enough, their income last month in Barrington Countryside was $1 million. Their expenses were $491,000. So just think what the department is expending to keep us going. They also did some work at the fire farm prior to its being torn down. They had an exercise at that. And they are having a fire safety demonstration at the department on May 19th. And that station is down across from the Onion Pub on Pepper Road, and it's obviously open to the public. I passed the 100 ICS, that's Incident Command Testing that FEMA has. I passed that easily. The 200 class took me a little bit longer, but I finally passed that. Now the 300 and 400 classes are 2 days each, coming up next week at the Barrington Countryside, so hopefully you'll know about Incident Command after this. I met with Lieutenant Chris Thompson, who Administrator Dalton Lang indicated we're trying to set up a meeting at LBS, but I just met with him last week, just to talk about general things that are going on in the Lake County Sheriff's Department, anything in general that we need to be on top of, and everything for the most part is under control, but Deputy Stankiewicz isn't here tonight, so things must be under control. With our new squad car, Lieutenant Thompson does not have a new squad car yet. He's eager to get his big SUV. And as far as the gated communities, I haven't heard much more from Enclave. I think they're kind of wrapping things up. Still trying to meet with their HOA president. And as far as Tallgrass, Karen Schwan, who's the community sales manager, said great and exciting month at Tallgrass. They have 3 permits this month, so excited about, should start digging for foundations in the next few days. I know we have additional homes in for permit, not sure how many at this time. They sold 2 more homes this month with the intent of delivering those yet in 2018. Still have the move-in ready Inverness available for sale, in case you want to buy a ranch out there. Hopefully they'll sell that this month. And they should start a steady flow of closings in May. Buyers are excited, can't wait to have more families in the neighborhood. So good news from Tallgrass. And LBS is there, and probably in about a week or so, our trees will be in bloom. It'll be a beautiful place to drive through, so come on, take a look at LBS.
Don't speed.
Don't speed, heavens no. They're talking about putting in rumble strips because our public safety wasn't monitoring speed close. That's why we're talking to the sheriff's department, I think, more than anything else. I think they took that out of the equation. Snowballing would be a little rough with the speed bumps in there.
Riding my bike, yeah. I was riding my bike and this school bus came by me at a rather rapid
Oh, yeah.
speed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good thing you missed me.
Yeah. He said the same thing.
Yes.
That's the end of my report, thank you.
Questions for Trustee Shallow? Thank you. 12H, Roads and Infrastructure, Trustee Perkins.
I have nothing today.
Okey-doke.
Thank you.
Agenda item 13, there is no old business. And agenda item 14, ordinances, there are none. Agenda item 15, resolutions, consideration A of a resolution regarding closed session minutes. Mr. Baker, will you set this up?
Sure. The Open Meetings Act provides that a municipality must review its closed session minutes that have not yet been released to the public. The municipality needs to do that twice a year in order to document whether or not, the fact that they have considered whether or not to release those minutes. This resolution reflects my recommendation not to release any closed session minutes at this time. It also does two other things. It approves closed minutes for those several meetings that the village had between January 2017 and December 2017. And most of those minutes were, the majority of them were prepared by myself during the period of time when Bill Baldwin was here. The two of the later dates were prepared by village administrator Karen Dalton-Lang, and then two other sets of minutes were prepared by Rebecca Bateman of our office. And so this, to simplify it, is intended to approve all those closed session minutes but not release them. And then it also, there are a few very short open session minutes that relate to the closed session minutes, and those are being approved and released because those are open session minutes. And it's intended to do that all in one legislative act so that it simplifies our agenda. And you all had the opportunity, other than Mr. Mitchell, to review all these draft minutes at your last committee of the whole last month.
Are there questions for council? Then Chair would like a motion to pass resolution number 2018-R-9.
9.
Thank you. A resolution regarding the release of closed session minutes. May I have a motion, please?
So,
By Trustee Shallow, may I please have a second?
Second.
By Trustee Richard, thank you both, gentlemen. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Schaller.
yes.
Trustee Rigby.
Aye.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Mitchell.
Yes.
Trustee Perkins.
Yes.
Trustee Thompson.
Yes.
President Richardson.
Yes, thank you. Under 16, there is no new business. Agenda item 17, second time in the agenda for the public to address the board. No one seeking recognition. There is no closed session. Chair would like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
May I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.